The day I found out my wife's first love was coming back to town, I did the smart thing and started packing. I had barely dragged my suitcase to the front door when my wife grabbed me and pulled me back. "Where do you think you are going at this hour? She is back." I need to go before my wife could even get a word in. Her parents came rushing over, and my father-in-law snatched my suitcase right out of my hand. "Knock it off," he said, dragging me and my luggage straight back inside. My mother-in-law grabbed my hand, tears streaming down her face. "You are the only son-in-law the Shen family will ever recognize." My wife laughed and wrapped her arms around my waist, dummy. I stopped caring about her a long time ago. "You are the only one in my heart," but I quietly pulled out the list I had written long ago. It laid out in detail every move Ryan would likely make after coming back. First, he would mock me for being a stand-in. Then at a dinner party, he would splash red wine on himself and pin it on me, and finally he would fake being pushed down the stairs by me. My in-laws read it and gasped. My mother-in-law immediately sent the list to the house manager. "Starting tomorrow, everyone in this house better be wearing a body cam." My wife read to the last item and burst out laughing. "You know, back in the day, it was that exact same trick you pulled that got my attention in the first place. Do not worry, he is a good guy. He would not do anything to hurt you." But the very first thing Ryan said when he laid eyes on me caught everyone completely off guard. "So this must be Serena's little brother. You actually look a lot like me, Marcus. You have been doing well for yourself, huh?" The second he finished talking, the whole room went dead silent. I just shrugged helplessly and let my eyes do the talking. "See, I told you so," but then out of nowhere, Ryan suddenly shifted gears and walked toward me with a big warm smile. He gave me a friendly pat on the shoulder. "Hey, Serena's husband, do not get the wrong idea. What I mean is that Serena is lucky to have such an amazing husband like you two. Really are a perfect match." His genuine eyes and tone left me momentarily thrown off. This was not how the first love was supposed to play it. Serena gently slipped her arm through mine. "See, I told you that you were overthinking it. Ryan is a genuinely good person. He is not going to make things difficult for you." My in-laws both let out a sigh of relief. My mother-in-law patted the back of my hand. "Marcus, honey, you are just way too sensitive. Relax. You are the only son-in-law the Shen family will ever have." Halfway through the banquet, I made an excuse to use the restroom, wanting to clear my head. I had barely stepped into the hallway when I ran into Serena's junior colleague, Ethan. He had always had it out for me, and right now he was not even trying to hide the contempt in his eyes. Well, if it is not the stand-in husband, the real deal is back now. How do you still have the nerve to be here? If it were me, I would have packed up and walked out already. I gave him a cold, sideways glance. "You are awfully worked up about whether I stay or go. Do not tell me you are just jealous that I am the one who married Serena." Ethan's face turned beet red. "Marcus Shen, you better watch yourself." Halfway through the banquet, I was holding a glass of wine, heading toward the balcony to get some air. I had just gotten close to the buffet table when I spotted Ryan with his back to me, chatting with some of the older guests. I was about to walk around him when suddenly from behind me, a powerful force hit me out of nowhere. Someone shoved me hard from behind. My body lurched forward completely out of control. The red wine flew out of my hand in a wide arc and landed squarely on the chest of Ryan's expensive white suit. The room froze instantly, and the guests around us all turned to stare. Whispers broke out all around Marcus. "Even if you are that obsessed with Ryan, you cannot just douse him with wine in front of everyone. That is way out of line." I stumbled and caught my footing. Immediately realizing this was Ethan's cheap little scheme, he was the one who had shoved me. I took a deep breath and looked over at Serena and my in-laws who had rushed over at the commotion. Their faces were full of shock, and I calmly explained myself. Staring straight at Ethan, "I did not do it on purpose. Someone shoved me from behind. Who shoved you?" "Everybody saw it. You were the one walking straight at Ryan with that wine glass." Ethan pushed back relentlessly, his voice dripping with fake hurt. "Serena, Uncle Auntie, you have to stand up for Ryan here." Serena looked at me with a complicated expression, a hint of scrutiny she was trying hard to conceal. Then she looked over at Ryan, who was a total mess, her brow furrowing. A wave of helplessness washed over me. Sure enough, whenever her first love got hurt, logic went right out the window. I turned to Serena and forced a bitter smile. "Check item 2 on the list. It is late, but it showed up. Can you let me grab my luggage and go now? Just let me leave." The guests watching all started talking. Why is the Shen family son-in-law pulling such a cheap stunt just to compete for attention? What a petty guy. He is obviously jealous. What a seriously insecure man. Back in the day, the story between Serena and Ryan never really died down. Shh. I heard this Marcus guy is just a stand-in anyway. My father-in-law scowled and cut everyone off. That is enough. Marcus is not that kind of person. Nobody is drawing any conclusions until we get the full picture. Exactly, this whole venue has security cameras all over the place. Let us pull the footage right now and find out who is really behind this, just as the house manager was about to go carry out the order. Ryan, who had been quietly wiping at the wine stain, suddenly lifted his head. "Uncle Auntie Serena, there is no need to pull the cameras. What actually happened is that someone accidentally bumped into Marcus, and that is why he lost his grip on the glass. It was an accident, plain and simple. Please do not misunderstand him." Ethan stared wide-eyed in total disbelief. "Ryan, bro, come on, you do not have to do that." But it really was an accident. Then Ryan turned to me and offered a small, somewhat pale smile. "Marcus, it is all good. It is just a suit. Do not even worry about it." The truth got glossed over just like that. My name was cleared, but it made Ryan even harder to read. Serena visibly relaxed and came over to loop her arm through mine. "See, I told you Ryan is a sweetheart. He would never wrongly accuse you." I watched Ryan get led away by a staff member to deal with the stain on his suit, then glanced at Ethan, whose face had gone from red to pale and felt not even a shred of relief. Why did Ryan not take the opportunity to set me up? Why did he bail me out instead? After that night, Ryan's honesty and the way he stepped up earned him everyone's goodwill, including my in-laws at bedtime that night. "See, now you can relax, right? I told you Ryan is not like that," but I just lay there staring at the ceiling. After everyone else had fallen asleep, I pulled out my notebook and put a small checkmark next to item 5. Everyone starts taking Ryan's side, and I become the unreasonable one. In the days that followed, Ryan became a regular at the Shen household. He showed up every morning at 9 on the dot with either the Longjing tea my father-in-law loved, or the imported herbal blend my mother-in-law preferred, chatting with Serena about their college club days. The two of them cracking up laughing, but whenever I walked over, he would always stop mid-sentence, turn and smile at me. "Serena used to be such a mess back in college, Marcus. She forgot the mic at an event, and I had to run and borrow one for her." At the dinner table, he would serve me the steamed fish I liked and quietly say, "Serena always mentions your stomach is not great, eat more." He said it so naturally, like he was the one who belonged in this house and I was just visiting. I followed Serena into the study when she stepped away. "Hey, you guys kept me around, just to watch Ryan act like the man of the house." Serena froze her hand mid-page, turned and looked at me with clear irritation. "Marcus, do you have some kind of persecution complex he let go of the past years ago? You are the one who keeps bringing it up. What is the point?" She slammed the door on her way out. The first real blow-up happened at the family meeting on the weekend. My father-in-law rapped on the table and said, "The Shen Group needs someone to head up an overseas partnership project." Ryan walked in carrying a fruit tray, and as he set it down, he casually mentioned that he had personally dealt with the Asia-Pacific director of that firm back in London, and that the director had mentioned wanting to work with a team he already knew. My father-in-law's eyes lit up. He turned to me, "Marcus, what if we brought Ryan into the company to help out? He is basically the perfect fit." I shot to my feet, "Absolutely not. You cannot let an outsider get involved in a major company project." The words died in my throat, shut down by a look from Serena. Ryan's eyes immediately went red. "Uncle, I overstepped. I just saw that Serena has been so slammed lately she can barely sleep and I wanted to help." After all, before he stopped himself like he had been deeply wronged. "Marcus, Ryan is a professional and he is looking out for this family. How did you get so small-minded and jealous, Marcus, honey? Ryan means well, do not go reading into it." I looked around the room at faces all tilting toward Ryan that night. I added 2 more items to my list. Use his connections to infiltrate the company, good at playing the victim and steering the narrative. Not that it mattered anymore, I had already made up my mind to leave. Whatever game Ryan was playing had nothing to do with me. The next morning, a scream woke up the whole house. My mother-in-law came shrieking into the living room saying the imperial green jade pendant, a family heirloom passed down 3 generations from her prized jewelry box, was gone. The whole family tore through every room from the storage closets to the garage. They even searched the housekeeper's room. In the end, it was Serena's assistant who found the pendant tucked inside a hidden pocket of my bag. A few strands of my own hair were even wrapped around it, caught red-handed. What a sloppy frame-up. I could not believe that just when I was ready to walk out the door, something like this lands in my lap. Serena held the pendant so tight her knuckles went white. The look she gave me was like she was looking at a stranger. "Marcus, if you want jewelry, I can buy it for you. Why would you steal Mom's heirloom? That thing is the most precious piece she brought into this marriage. It was not me. Someone planted it." Ryan was in my room yesterday afternoon, but she yanked her hand away and stepped back. Ryan was downstairs with Mom doing flower arrangements the entire time. There were witnesses the whole way through. "Marcus, would you please stop accusing him?" I looked at her silence, looked at the disappointment in my in-laws' eyes, and felt like ice picks were being driven through my chest. Then Ryan walked over and gently took my mother-in-law by the arm. "Uncle, Auntie Serena, I think I saw Marcus's husband hovering outside Mom's jewelry room the day before yesterday. Maybe he just had a moment of weakness. Please do not be too hard on him." My father-in-law slammed the table so hard the teacups rattled. "Marcus Shen, this family has never let you go without anything. And you pull something this shameful, Mom, Dad. You had body cams installed all over the house, right? Why not just pull the security footage and settle this?" I stared hard at Ryan, expecting to catch even a flicker of panic, but his face was completely calm. Serena snapped, "What is there even left to check? You are the only one in this house with a dirty mind, always acting paranoid. Convinced the whole world is out to get you. You are always acting paranoid. Convinced the whole world is out to get you. You stole Mom's jade pendant. Just because Mom complimented Ryan, did you not? Marcus Shen, you are such a disappointment to me. When you are already convicted without evidence, no amount of explaining will help. So I figured I might as well just roll with it." "Fine, yeah, I took it." I went back to my room, grabbed my bags. I cannot stay in this house another minute. I had just dragged my suitcase to the door. When both Serena and Ryan came running out after me, Serena grabbed my suitcase, her voice full of commands. "Not this again. Explain yourself before you go anywhere." I wrenched free from her grip and was about to speak, when an out-of-control car suddenly came barreling around the corner and a piercing screech of brakes split the air. In the chaos, Ryan threw himself on top of Serena, and the two of them rolled to the side of the road, while I was knocked down by the momentum, my knees scraping open and bleeding. Serena scrambled up and rushed straight to Ryan's side. When she saw blood seeping through his shirt, her eyes went red. She turned to look at me and her eyes were filled with pure hatred. "This is all your fault if you had not thrown a fit about leaving. None of this would have happened, Ryan, if anything happens to you." I will never forgive Marcus. The ambulance came wailing in. As Ryan was being loaded onto the stretcher, he said weakly, "My blood type is rare. I do not know if there will be a match." Serena immediately grabbed me by the wrist. "Go to the hospital and donate blood for Ryan. I am not going. What happens to him is none of my business." Serena flat out gripped my shoulders and started dragging me toward the ambulance. My mother-in-law ran over and grabbed my arm, her voice ice cold. "This family has been nothing but good to you. You donate blood for Ryan and Mom will give you that jade pendant. We will let everything from before go. This is pure cruelty, nothing less." Watching them willing to use the one thing I despised most to buy my cooperation for Ryan's sake, all I felt was bitter and hollow. My father-in-law had shown up by now too. "You ungrateful kid, at a time like this, you are still being difficult. Ryan saved Serena's life. Donating a little blood is the least you can do if you dare refuse. I will put an announcement in the paper and have your marriage to Serena dissolved. You will leave this house with nothing." Serena saw I was not budging and called over 2 bodyguards. "Let go of me." Serena let go of me. "Do you not remember the last item on my list? The people who look the most innocent are often hiding the most ruthless hearts." Serena hesitated for just a second, then looked away and waved for the bodyguards to force me into the car. At the hospital, as the nurse came toward me with the needle, I stared at the cold metal tip and felt a chill run through my whole body. As my mind started to go hazy, Ryan was wheeled into the bed beside me, and I heard him say quietly, "Do you know why I went abroad? And do you remember the first time we met when I said we looked alike?" My heart lurched, and just at that moment, Serena's secretary suddenly shouted, "This is bad." Serena, the overseas project, along with all the core technology and every channel resource built up in the early stages, was just completely drained by a shell company. Everything has been transferred out. The whole thing was a perfectly planned operation. We have been completely hollowed out. What? Serena snatched the tablet and her fingers flew across the screen. With every swipe, her face got more ashen until it was practically iron gray. How is this even possible? Who did this? Her eyes snapped to me, still carrying a flicker of doubt and fear. I tugged at the corner of my mouth, too drained to even manage a cold laugh, so even now, she could still point the finger at me. "Find out who the registered owner of that shell company is, and pull their background." Serena practically roared the words out. "The veins at her temple bulging. That project is the strategic backbone of the Shen Group for the next several years. If it collapses, the fallout will be catastrophic." The secretary's voice trembled as a name came out. "The fallout would be catastrophic." The secretary's voice shook. As she read out a name and the registration details of the shell company, the name was unfamiliar. But the incorporation location of the shell company, along with the transaction trail from several linked accounts, was quietly pointing toward one person, someone who had recently been in frequent contact with the Shen Group's overseas division, and had provided a significant amount of critical insider information. The hospital room went graveyard silent. Serena looked like every ounce of strength had been drained from her body in an instant. She stumbled, and slowly turned her head in disbelief to look at the man in the next bed, pale-faced. Chest still wrapped in bandages, Ryan met her gaze. The warm smile he always wore was gone, and so was the carefully performed vulnerability and sadness. All that remained was something cold and almost ruthlessly calm. It was you from the very beginning. You orchestrated all of this. Ryan let out a soft laugh. That laugh soaked in boundless contempt and hatred. Is Serena only figuring it out now? Is not that a little late? Do you really think I came back to rekindle things with you? Or to torture myself watching you and my little brother all lovey-dovey? Little brother Serena's pupils contracted sharply. She snapped to look at me and I went completely rigid. My mind went completely blank. The absurd suspicion I had been pushing away turned out to be true. Ryan's gaze settled on me, complex and unreadable. Marcus, my dear little brother, you did not just happen to look like me. We share the same blood. You are the youngest son of the Fu family, who was lost in an accident 20 years ago. I opened my mouth but no sound came out. It felt like my blood had frozen solid in that moment. The Fu family. Which Fu family? Serena seemed to connect something, and her face went even darker. Ryan's voice rose sharp and laced with bone-deep hatred. Which Fu family do you think 20 years ago? The Fu family that the Shen family deliberately staged a car accident to destroy in order to swallow up their business, leaving me with nothing, my parents dead. He locked eyes with Serena, each word cutting like a blade dipped in poison. Serena, do you think our meeting was by chance? It was the first move my father had carefully planned. I got close to you, I dated you, all of it was to uncover the truth. And when I finally gathered the evidence and knew everything, do you want to know why I suddenly acted like I was chasing money and dumped you to go abroad? I was not chasing anything. I was building my strength, rallying my father's old allies, laying the groundwork for this takedown. He drew in a deep, shaky breath, his chest heaving. Clearly, the surge of emotion was pulling at his wound, but I never expected that after everything I went through to find him my only family left in this world, my own little brother would end up by some twist of fate married into the family I swore to destroy, becoming my enemy's son-in-law. His gaze shifted back to me, filled with anguish and a trace of guilt he could barely hide. I watched you standing there beside her, watched him wearing a face like mine being kept completely in the dark like a fool. How could I just stand by and watch him stay stuck in that mess? So everything he did after coming back, all those things that looked like he was stirring up trouble, all the things that looked like frame-ups, all the things that seemed designed to make me look petty and jealous in front of the Shen family, were all meant to tear open this fake peace as fast and as hard as possible, to make me lose faith in the Shens and in Serena so I would leave. Every item on my list he had used, but none of it played out exactly the way I had predicted. He was using his own method to shake me awake, mocking me for being a stand-in. He said it, but immediately covered it with the word, perfect match. Equal parts reminder and test the wine splash. He used Ethan's jealousy as a tool, but then cleared my name himself to plant a seed of doubt in my mind. So I could see how Serena instinctively took sides the moment evidence pointed elsewhere.